Please welcome our host for this evening, an Emmy Award-nominated actress, a passionate activist, and America's most beloved nanny, Fran Drescher.
Wow, what a nice warm greeting. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Happy pre-Hanukkah, everybody. Woo! What a wonderful few days, right? Oh, it's so great for me to be here with all of you for this night of light. But just to clear something up, this is not a Boston accent. I'm a New Yorker through and through. But I gotta tell you, even in New York, this voice is, shall we say, unusual. They once asked my parents, you know, what it was like raising a kid with such a unique voice. And my mother, in the exact same voice, said, "We never knew she had a funny voice." All I can say is, thank God I figured out a way to monetize it. I'm just so happy to be here in Boston for the URJ Biennial 2017. And to share this night and this moment in history, because I'm Jewish, and, you know, I'd be remiss in a wonderful group of such esteemed guests as yourselves, not to mention that I'm single. Again. I grew up in Queens, New York. Kew Garden Hills, Flushing, with my parents, Sylvia and Morty. We weren't particularly a religious people, but they loved their Jewish heritage, Zero Mostel, and Barbra Streisand. Hanukkah in our house was kicked off by very ceremoniously bringing out the menorah out of the closet and dusting off the bulbs. I love Hanukkah so much. I remember when I was little, I begged my mother to please let us have a Hanukkah bush. Well, she eventually agreed. Oh, I never forgot how beautiful it was. A white flock tabletop model with blue lights and bags of gold chocolate coins, Hanukkah gelt for ornaments. But the flocking caught fire from the heat of the bulbs, and the chocolate melted all over my mother's credenza. After the firemen left, my mom quietly turned the next bulb on our menorah on, and the words Hanukkah Bush were never spoken again. Tonight is not your usual biennial plenary, but then again, there's nothing usual about our times, right? So kick back and get ready for a night of meaningful entertainment, including some very special messages that we've had sent in. Hanukkah offers us the chance to consider our role in the world and rededicate ourselves to the light of love and understanding and global citizenship. It's not just oil that burned on Hanukkah or my mother's latkes. It's also the perfect time to remind ourselves that we can not only light up our own lives, but be an influencer on many. Every person can make a difference. Yes, it's true. Each one teach one, that's what I always say. First, change yourself, and then change the world. We're gathered together for this biennial to reimagine this holiday for the big ideas and the heart of it. Just as Hanukkah has 8 nights, tonight has 8 themes. Well, there's going to be a nice slide coming up. Ah, there it is. Look how beautiful. Let's talk about pride, folks. All of us have something that makes us proud, be it, our children, our work, friends, philanthropy. When we put our heart into something, it makes us proud. I'm proud of many things, but I guess the nanny is one of my crowning achievements. Thank you. Very proud. Thank you, the lady in red, she said. I don't know if you all know the story, but I was on a TWA flight to Paris when the president of CBS boarded. So, I ran into the bathroom to put some makeup on, saying, "Carpe diem, baby." I was determined to convince him that I knew my brand of comedy better than anyone else. And he was a captive audience, because where was he going to go? Coach? Well, 9.5 hours later, he said, "Okay, when we get back to LA, you'll call my office, I'll set you up a pitch meeting." Well, once in France, the friend I was staying with forgot to mention that she would be with her toddlers. And I, who had never lived with children before, I couldn't believe these kids would never stop crying. And then I started crying. So Peter, my husband at the time, said, "Go visit Twiggy, the one and only, in London." And so I did just that. I found myself touring the city with Twiggy's little 12-year-old daughter, who began to complain about her new shoes hurting her. Well, I wasn't ready to take her home yet, so I said, "Honey, step on the backs of them." And she worried that that would break them. And I said, "Break them in." Well, this was very, kind of uniquely funny relationship between a child and her caregiver. And I thought, I have to call Peter. So that night, I called him in Los Angeles from London, and he said, "That's it. That's what we're going to pitch to CBS. As soon as you get back, we'll develop it." We walked into CBS, and we pitched the show as a spin on The Sound of Music, only instead of Julie Andrews, I came to the door. Well, CBS greenlighted the project immediately. Then Procter & Gamble told CBS that they would buy the series if the nanny was not Jewish, but Italian. Well, I dug my spike heels in the ground, and I said no to Procter & Gamble, becoming the first Jewish actor playing a Jewish lead on a television series since the Goldbergs in the early 50s, 4 decades before. The point is, all us Jews have stories to tell and a lot to be proud of in our history. And through the story of Hanukkah, we are reminded that we are proud of how we've overcome. We all know the story of Judah and the Maccabees, but did you know that Hanukkah means dedication? Originally, there was no mention of a jar of oil that lasted for 8 days. But later, the rabbis of the Talmud attributed the 8 days of Hanukkah to the miracle of this single jar. Of course, this is not to be confused with the miracle of Christmas, which also started you in a leading role. On this Hanukkah, in this time, when we are faced daily by forces of fear and racism, sexism, violence, and contempt, we must come together like a beacon for love, justice, tolerance, and compassion. As you heard from Senator Warren here just yesterday, we must stand up for what we believe in and always stand on the side of truth and right. Speaking of what's right, one big question remains: how do you even spell Hanukkah? It's like a million ways. So to find out, guess what we did? We sent our intrepid reporter. So let's check in with Rick on the street. Roll, Rick.
Can I ask you like a really simple question?
Okay.
Have you heard of the holiday of Hanukkah? You know, Hanukkah, Latka, all the joy, the light, the menorah, all that stuff?
Sure, yeah.
How would you spell the holiday Hanukkah?
Oh,
Starts with an H.
I've seen it spelled 2 different ways.
I'm trying to figure out how
Oh
to
my
spell it.
God.
Yeah, I can't do that one. Do you mean like if I do an H or a CH?
I would not know how to spell
Could you take a wild guess or maybe an educated guess or no guess?
No guess. Probably not, but I'll give it my best
Give
shot.
it a shot, yeah.
Although I don't really know it, because I'm English. We don't have Jews in England. Yeah, we do.
Hanukkah, unless there's 2 N's.
Is there a question mark on the end?
No?
I really should know this. Hanukkah,
Gee, why should you know it?
because I know how to spell Christmas, and it's not right that I don't know how to spell Hanukkah.
Could be a CH involved.
CH usually gives people the...
It's a
It is.
Hanukkah.
It is.
That's the way the Jews say it.
CHANNUKAH.
Otherwise, they'll just say Hanukkah.
Exactly.
That was a straight up guess.
Straight up guess.
I'm a terrible speller.
Hanukkah. Oh
It's so confusing, right?
Yeah.
Hanukkah.
Man, you just rattled that off.
Yeah, because I'm Jewish, and so we know how to spell Hanukkah.
But you know, that's also the English spelling.
Thank you. There's only one correct way to spell Hanukkah. and
It's
that's
in Hebrew.
Chet Nun Kaf He. Can I just say, I'm actually a rabbi, and I'm not even sure how to spell it.
Great. Well, that makes me feel
So
better.
don't feel bad. It's a holiday of freedom, so we're free to spell it all different ways. And
Okay.
thank you for sharing your way of spelling it.
Yeah, no problem.
It seems pretty clear that the H's have it.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, you too. Happy Hanukkah.
Thanks. Happy Hanukkah.
Good job, Rabbi Jacobs. See, he's got a whole nother career going if he needed it. And good to know there are even higher powers that don't need, spell check or Siri. All right. Never mind. Community is not just a place where we live, but also a place in our hearts. To remember where you come from is important. No matter where I go, in my heart, I'm always a chubby kid from Queens. Our Jewish community is made stronger by its diversity, and our traditions become even more meaningful when we share them in new ways. The Reform movement has long recognized diversity as part of the music of life. So I'm excited about the musicians about to perform. The Guy Mendelow Ensemble connects audiences with the adventure, humor, and grit of old shepherds sung in the endangered Judeo-Spanish language, Ladino. Yeah, oh. You know, recently I was in the Broadway show Cinderella. When they called me and offered me the part, I said, oh, I'm very flattered, but perhaps I'm just a little too old to play Cinderella. They said, not that role, the role of the wicked stepmother. I said, oh, but she doesn't have any singing parts. And they said, yeah, we know. Please welcome the Guy Mendelow Ensemble.
I believe we live our lives in stories. And there are some stories that have a habit of replaying. Although the setting and the characters may change. And the Festival of Light invites us to consider such a story. What does it mean to bring light just when it seems least possible? In the height of scarcity, when it grows darker all around us? The set may change, it's true. What are those things that cause us to be light and for which we would be willing to struggle? Sometimes it's just when those things are threatened that they become the clearest. Family, a life of meaning, friendship. The song invites us to consider those things for which we would stand up.
ni parientes, viajenos ni parientes, viajenos ni parientes, viajenos ni parientes.
Wow-wee. What a beautiful gift to have that ensemble perform for us. Thank you. That was amazing. That's incredible. Thank you. One thing we can all agree on is that when we really think about Hanukkah, it's not ultimately about the gifts, but about something more priceless. Family. Family means many things to many people. George Burns once said, happiness is a large, loving, caring, close-knit family in another city. You know, with the nanny, we all became kind of a family too. And, well, on that show, we celebrated Hanukkah, Passover, a bris, Israel, and we all learned to incorporate Yiddish as part of our daily vernacular. In any given show, the family was verklempt, verdreht, vermished. I cooked and served kasha vanishka as one of my specialties. And, oh, we've got a kasha vanishka fan. And like most Jewish families, there was always plenty of food. Renee Taylor, who played my mother Sylvia on the show, yes, she's great, dear friend of mine. Well, she said, I'm eating too much on the show, I gained a lot of weight, and my doctor says, stop writing me so many eating scenes. And Peter said to her, you know, Renee, you don't have to eat during the rehearsals, you know. Another buddy of mine from TV is Mark Feuerstein. You'll know him from Royal Pains and his new Jewish family sitcom on CBS right now. So we have a cute video of what family and Hanukkah means to Mark. Roll it.
Hello, everyone. This is Mark Feuerstein. I'm on a show that is very Jewish right now called 9JKL on CBS on Monday nights at 9:30. Please watch it. But that's not why I'm talking to you today. I'm so sorry I can't be at the Night of Light event, but I'm here sitting in front of my burning light from Judah the Maccabee, and wanted to share that my father was one of 6 children, grew up on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and he and his siblings would all get together along with all of their children and their children's children with my grandma Guy, who lived in Astoria, Queens. And she was an amazing woman who basically raised 6 children by herself. And she would have all 50 or 60 Feuersteins at her house in Astoria, Queens. And she made latkes for all 60 Feuersteins. And the important thing about latkes in my family, which was the source of some tension at times, was they had to be hot. Latkes need to be hot. So I hope you're there enjoying some hot latkes, and I wish you all a very, very happy Hanukkah.
He's so adorable. Well, what's a Jewish holiday without great food? And we've mentioned latkes, but, you know, who doesn't love latkes? Sour cream, applesauce, or both? For the record, I eat organic latkes. Gotta go organic, folks, if you want to reduce your risk of inflammation, cancers, you know, you name it. I'm a survivor and a health activist. Thank you. That is not kosher law, that's dresser law. Believe me, when you sit around My table, you get more than a mouthful of food. You get an earful, too. And another TV pal of mine is Phil Rosenthal, the creator of Everybody Loves Raymond. And he has a new food show coming to Netflix. So that's very exciting. And we sent him the crew at the famous Cantor's Deli in Los Angeles. Here is the deliciously funny Phil Rosenthal.
Hello, I'm Phil Rosenthal. Today we're in Los Angeles, and we're going to try the perfect Hanukkah meal at the world-famous Cantor's. Mark, hello.
How you doing? Phil.
I'm very happy to be here. You made all the Hanukkah favorites.
Well, brisket is my favorite with the potato pancakes and the onion gravy.
Now, you've assimilated very well by calling these potato pancakes, right? But
Latkes.
Latkes? Did you know it was the #1 most popular Jewish food? Ahead of the bagel is the latke. I was surprised. I mean, over challah, over matzo ball soup, over blintzes, over a bagel. How is it possible? Are you an applesauce, a sour cream guy, or
Absolutely applesauce.
Not sour cream? Why? It disagrees with you? Are you a little lactose intolerant?
No, it just tastes better.
I spilled a little. They're terrific, by the way.
Thank you.
What if I do that?
Oh, no double dipping.
Contaminating.
No, you can.
This is like the greatest hit of Hanukkah. How many people have you do their Hanukkah for them?
You know, line goes down the block.
Really? You know why? Because you're selling tradition and memory and emotion.
Yeah, it's a
That's what it is. These latkes are so fantastic. I think we should share them with people who may not have tasted them before.
All right.
You want to do it?
Let's have some fun.
All right, here we go. We're going to share this with the people. Did you ever have a latke?
No, I never.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Do you know what a potato pancake is? You ever have a latke? A what? A latke. No. Come here. I'm going to change your life. You want to try it? There's from Cantor's. This is Mr. Cantor.
Made out of potatoes. Potato and onion.
Potato pancake. Ew.
It looks,
It looks what?
Looks a little suspicious.
How about you, mister? Come on. Let's say, be brave. These are good. I wouldn't poison you nice people. Do you like hash browns at McDonald's? Yeah. They're kind of like that. We're changing the world one latke at a time. Look at this guy, brave. He's putting two. Look, he's doing the mix.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It is pretty good, he says.
It is pretty good.
Come on.
Now try with the apple.
A ringing endorsement. Tastes pretty good. So now you're a convert, right? What do you say?
That's better than McDonald's, man.
Better than McDonald's.
Better than McDonald's.
Better than McDonald's.
Way better.
It was a giant success. Look, we were out for 1 minute. All your latkes are gone. I think you're a very good goodwill ambassador for the whole Jewish food industry.
We welcome Michelle Citron to the Night of Light stage.
Tonight we light the Hanukkah candles from left to right. Tonight we light the Hanukkah candles from left to right. Hey! Put your hands together. Favorite time of year is here, the festival of lights. We celebrate our victory, we celebrate our rights. First you take a single candle and you start it with a spark. Then you pass it all around the world, bring light into the dark. Sing it with me. Tonight we light the Hanukkah candles from left to right. Sing with us. Tonight from left to right. see the candles burning bright from the east to the west. You just want to light the rest. All around the world, people gather on this day. A miracle has happened, so we light a candle and say, all around the world, people gather on this day. A miracle has happened, so we light a candle and say, tonight we light the Hanukkah candles from left to right. Keep singing. Tonight we light the Hanukkah candles from left to right. I said tonight we light the Hanukkah candles from left to right. I said tonight we light the Hanukkah candles from left to right. I said tonight we light the Hanukkah candles from left to right.
Wow, that was great. Thank you. We love Michelle, don't we? Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. And in Judaism, we also love our traditions, right? I mean, they're really wonderful and comforting. All the family traditions and the memories are etched in our minds and our hearts. At the same time, we must remember that this holiday has also played a vital role in our survival as a people. Just as the lighting the menorah brings a glow into our home, it's a powerful symbol of adding light into the world when we most need it. Next up, a doctor we all know and love. Even in our darkest hours, there is still a light somewhere in the world that can lead us forward. Here to tell us about it, a very bright light indeed.
Hello, shalom. I'm Dr. Ruth Westheimer. For your Night of Light, I would like to tell you the story about Hanukkah. Not the story of lighting the candles, you all know that, but this picture of a GI soldier and his little girl lighting the last night of a Hanukkah menorah was hanging over my bed for many years in the orphanage in Switzerland. And it reminded me of the Hanukkah that I was able to celebrate with my family in Frankfurt. And then it made the poignant point that this was a GI from the American Army with his girl lighting the menorah of Hanukkah. And guess what? I'm going to be 90. And I have this picture that was from maybe 1943 to the end of the war over my bed in Haydn. I carried that with me all over the world. Even being Dr. Ruth Westheimer, I still look at that picture and I have a feeling of sadness that I was an orphan, that I did not have the possibility of lighting the Hanukkah menorah with my father after the war, but that I believe in the continuation of the tradition, and that's why I wish you all the very best for your convention and for Hanukkah. I hope to see you soon. Shalom. I'm Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
Please welcome the American Conference of Cantors President, Cantor Stephen Weiss, along with nearly 100 ACC cantors lending their collective voices to this evening's celebration.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children. Give thanks to their light, didn't I? And light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. Light one candle for the wisdom to know where the peacemaker's time is at hand.
Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light, let it shine through our love and our tears.
Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in. Let anger not tear us apart.
Light one candle to bind us together with peace as a song in our heart. Don't let the light go out. So many years, don't let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. So many years, don't let it shine through our tears. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out.
What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail. This is the burden, this is the promise, and this is what we will not fail. Don't let the light go out for so many years. Don't let the light shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out for so many years. Let it shine through our tears. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. Can you believe that? 100 ACC cantas. That is so impressive. It's like, you know, the Jewish America's Got Talent. Music has always been a way that we get through hard times and try to make a difference with our voices. We also, you know, bound together with our collective values and our desire for social justice. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg recently told the LA Jewish Journal, the Jewish religion is an ethical religion. That is, we are taught to do right, to love mercy, do justice. We live righteously because that's how people should live. I love how Ruthie stay on the bench just a little longer, please. Please, Ruthie. Oh, everybody knows that, you know, I go to the mat for civil liberties and equality and those who are marginalized. The big platform of mine, of course, is gay rights. In case you missed it, Peter is now my gay ex-husband. I was a gay icon, though, even before he came out. Now I've just been elevated to Judy Garland status. People always say to me, how did you not know? And I really didn't know. I mean, you know, I guess I'm just dense that way. But, you know, after we were married, we each gave each other, you know, like one free pass. He picked Cher. I picked Elton. Ay vey, this just, woo! And on that note, please welcome Rabbi Leora Kay, who is always about making the world a better place.
So there's a story about a town that was a very different kind of a place. It was really something special. Each really took care of the others, making sure that everyone had what they needed, making sure they had the physical things and the spiritual things, that they each taught what came to them from the generations before about caring for the people that were in front of them. Families would care for people who didn't have, and those who only had themselves to care for, well, they would make sure that the families who needed some extra hands had them. There was one very special thing about this town. In this town, they sang a song. It went a little bit like this. They sang it all the time at simchas and celebrations. They sang it at tough times. The song had two parts. The first part went something like this. Lie, 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 lie. Well, this is a little silly. I have actual music people here. I don't need to sing it. I think, Rose, Cantor Boxed, you back there? Hey, come on out. So I'm just going to bring some other people up. Wait, I think we need someone else, right? Two parts? 2 parts. Okay. Danny? Dan Nichols, you still over there? We planned that. So now we've got what we need, right? Because as I was saying, this town would sing a song and it had 2 parts. Rose, can you help this half of the room? Okay, so if you are in this half of the room, I want you to sing the first part. We're going to work on it. Just a second. Let's see if you can do the second part. Let's try this one. I know. We're working on it. Here.
No? Yes? Lie, 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 lie. Shh. It's a good thing we're close.
We're very good friends.
Lie, 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 lie.
All right. And the second half of the song, because now you've got a sense of what that side sounded like, the second half of the song sounded like this.
Yai, lie, lie, lie. Yai, lie, lie, lie. Yai, lie, lie. Yai, lie, lie, lie.
I'll still give you. As I said, they would sing this song, both parts, all the time. See how people just work together? Work together and you make it work. But as it happens, as sometimes happens, little arguments started. This one was disappointed when that one didn't help with Shabbat one week, and that one was hurt when this one forgot to celebrate her child's first birthday. Slowly but surely, the arguments got bigger, and people started to, well, honestly, they started to lay down bricks until they had actually built a whole wall that now separated their town into two towns. And when they had become two towns, the most interesting thing happened. For whatever reason, one of the towns retained just one part of the song. Rose?
Lie, I need your help. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie.
The other town,
Yai, lie, lie, lie. Yai, lie, lie, lie. Yai, lie, lie. Yai, lie, 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 lie.
eventually it came to a time that people hardly even remembered that there had ever been just one town. Even the Vatikim, even the older ones hardly remembered. But one day, there were two kids. They had each been sort of having hard times. And one sat on one side of the wall, and the other sat on the other side of the wall, and they both started worrying at a little brick in the wall. You know, like just chipping away at it a bit at something when you're full of anxiety. And there they were, each worrying away at the very same brick. And each of them, they happened to have been singing at that very moment their own parts of the song. And then, as they sat and worried away at it, the brick broke right through. And they heard each other singing. And then they ran to the other people in their towns. They ran and they shouted for everybody to come over to the wall, and they started, each of them on their own side, singing. Sing your parts. And some say they broke the wall down right then. And some say it just broke down all on its own. And some say that what they know is true is that that day the town became one again. That they helped and they shared. And the families helped those without, and those without helped those with families. And everybody says that the song, it went all the way to heaven. Thank you. Thank you. So joining our social justice conversation in just a moment are going to be three great voices. Not that yours weren't. Yours were great voices. You all have great voices. YouTube sensation and I Am Jazz star, Jazz Jennings. From the legendary Kennedy family, Massachusetts Congressman Joe Kennedy III. Yeah. And a woman that we all know, especially from Rodef Shalom, and love from ABC News, Juju Chang.
I became a journalist, actually before I became a Jew, ironically, but I think I was drawn to both for similar reasons. I was also born in Korea, and my family immigrated here when I was very young. And so I remember growing up thinking, you know, my family were outsiders. They were strangers in a strange land. Our food smelled a little funny. My parents' accent sounded a little funny. So the biblical idea that we need to be kind to the stranger because you too were strangers in a strange land is something that resonates with me very deeply. And I think that the further along I get in my journalism career, 3 decades in, that's between you and me, I realize that all of those tenets of speaking truth to power, of, you know, giving voice to those less powerful, giving voice to those without a voice, speaking out for the underdog is something that we do day in and day out as journalists. And I think it is not a coincidence that I was drawn to both the field and to the faith. And I think at this time during Hanukkah, it's a chance for us to revisit all of our values, be with our families, and talk through what it is that we find purposeful and meaningful, and ways in which we can take these ideas and turn them into action, social action, if not social justice.
Social justice is important to me because I feel as though it's a principle of equality that allows all people to be who they are without this fear of being judged. And as a transgender teenager, I have definitely faced a lot of discrimination throughout my life. And I know how challenging it can be when you are denied your fundamental freedoms and rights. And I feel as though we must continue striving to become a more open-minded society where individuals like myself are no longer treated as inferior. I think we must become visible and demand that our voices are heard. We must share our stories and educate those who are ignorant to our struggles. And as Jewish global citizens, your responsibility is to be the best allies that you can be and stand with those who are vulnerable and in need of love and support. Respect all people for who they are and know that we are all just people. Once we can realize that, then we will evolve and become a loving society where everyone is happy.
Hi everyone, I'm Congressman Joe Kennedy. I'm so sorry I can't join you in person, but I'm so grateful that all of you have come together to celebrate a night of light in Boston. Hanukkah itself is a message of social justice, of compassion, and of community. And there could not be a more critical time for all of us to accept that message. In these moments of division, we draw strength from each other, from our communities, from faith. I hope that in the days, weeks, and months ahead, we can continue that message as we try to leave our nation and our world a little bit kinder, a little bit stronger, a little better than we received it. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Well, we've just heard from Rabbi Kay and the others talk so beautifully how adding our light into the world can ultimately bring more joy in the world. This holiday is about pure joy, too, and the fun that we have as we celebrate it. Here to share the joy of dreidels, please welcome a dear friend of mine and URJ's own beloved, Julie Silva. Hi, darling.
Thanks, Fran. Thank you, Fran.
Okay, I'll be giving the stage to you. You're in good hands, folks.
You know that I'm a Boston girl, through and through. And you know that I'm quite sporty. I'm quite sporty. I love my Red Sox. I love my Celtics. And for years, I've been trying to get the biennial to really include more sports. More sports because, you know, basically sports are life. Great metaphor for life, right? But you know, the truth is the only real sport that we can do here at the biennial is a dreidel spin-off. Yes, that's right, a dreidel spin-off. Now everybody reach under your seats. Many of you have a tray with dreidels to share with your neighbors. That's right. As our friend Oprah would say, you get a dreidel and you get a dreidel. You get a dreidel. Reach down, we're gonna have a big, that's right. No. You don't get a dreidel. Okay, so when I blow my whistle, which I have right here, we're gonna see who can keep their dreidels spinning the longest. Oh, look at that. Are you ready when I blow the whistle? We're gonna do 2 rounds. On your mark, get set, say it with me. Spin that dreidel. All right. Is anyone still going? All right, let's look at him go. Look at him go. All right, let's do a second round, shall we? Let's do a second round. Everybody now get ready. Get ready. You may want to take a nice deep knee bend. On your mark, I need you. Get set. Spin that. Dreidel. Oh, I like to see what's happening here. 6, 7. Oh, look at that. I like to see it. Spin that funky dreidel. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Is someone still spinning? Right down there. All right, with me, just remember, we take it home with us, the spirit of this competition, and we take home with us those 3 words. Let's say them all together. Raise the roof. Spin that.
Thank you, Julie Silver. I'll see you back in La La Land. Spinning that dreidel, baby. Oh, God. She's never gonna live that down. Spin that dreidel. Oh, thank you. How sweet. I love a good dreidel. Thank you. I'll take that as a little memento. Well, the biggest spin is what? Life itself, right? And sometimes bad things happen to good people. So let's talk about empowerment and resilience. Now, I was misdiagnosed for 2 years and 8 doctors before finally getting diagnosed with uterine cancer. I got in the stirrups more times than Roy Rogers. The URJ understands the power of a movement. As a cancer survivor, I turned my pain into purpose by founding the Cancer Schmancer movement. Thank you. You should all sign up. It's free, and then we can talk to each other. We at CancerSchmancer.org empower people to take control of their bodies and transform from patients into medical consumers. We identify the causes of cancers so we can eliminate them from our lives. Let's not get cancer in the first place. How's that for a cure? We empower you to make healthier choices with our Detox Your Home education program. Did you know that the home is the most toxic place that we spend the most time in? And ironically have the most control over. More toxic than living across the street from an oil refinery. But the good news is we wield a lot of power as consumers. So each time you replace a product, do yourself and your family and your pets a favor by replacing the old one, with something organic, non-GMO, and eco-friendly. We can collectively use our purchasing power to dictate more responsible manufacturing trends. We could just circumvent Washington. I mean, if everybody stopped drinking cola today, they'd stop making it tomorrow. It's that fast. If you eat a strawberry that's not organic, you might as well be eating a sponge soaked in pesticides. If your toothpaste says do not swallow, throw it away. Did you know people with Alzheimer's have a lot of aluminum in their brain? Stop using foil to cook with. Go back to old school parchment paper. And even antiperspirant don't use because it has a lot of aluminum chlorhydrate in it. And support the organic family farmer because at the end of the day, that's the best kind of kosher. We're all in this boat together, people. So let's shepherd it. Let's shepherd our bodies and the natural world lovingly. All right, back to Judaism. And to take us there, here's Josh Nelson.
In the days when we were broken, in the nights when we were falling fast, in the times when hope was hard to find, the times when love was left behind, you came to lead us home. In this story of redemption, in this tale that we will always tell, in this legend of our victory, a hero came to set us free, to bring us peace at last. Surrounded by these lights, we are reminded by these lights. There are stories that will light our way. In these lights, we are reflected. In these lights, we are protected by these lights. There are miracles of light. In this story of this season, in this tale that we will always love, for the miracle that happened there, the wonders that we all will share, the wonders we're in these lights, we are surrounded by these lights. We are reminded by these lights. There are stories that will light our way. In these lights, we are reflected. In these lights, we are protected by these lights. There are miracles to find in these These lights, we are surrounded by these lights. We are reminded by these lights. There are stories that will light our way. In these lights, we are protected by these lights. We are protected by these lights. There are miracles to find in these lights.
don't y'all get up on your feet right now? Put your hands together up high in the air, just like this. Come on. Benny, set them up one time. Come on. It's our chance to all sing together. Let's hear what you can do. Ma'otzor Yeshuati L'chana Elishabeach Tikon Beit Tefilati V'sham Todah Izabeach Le'tachid Matbeach Mitzam Nameach Azek Mor Yeshir Mizmor Hanukkah Hamizbeach Azek Mor Yeshir Mizmor Hanukkah Rock of ages, let our song praise your saving power. You amidst the raging foes were our sheltering tower. Glorious day of Cinderella, but your arm availed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed. And your word broke their sword when our own strength failed. Come on, put your hands together. Oh, Hanukkah, Lushtit Hashem, Lushtit You ready? Let's hear you sing it. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, Hanukkah, come light of the menorah. And from the core, he will all get the horror. Gather round the table, cling to a tree, singing on the way with the loudest. And while we are praying, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago.
Wow, thank you. That was awesome. So great, adorable. Well, I'm gonna say goodnight. I mean, this has been a wonderful night of celebration, and it has been my sincere honor to share it with all of you. Listen, Albert Einstein said this: there are two ways to live life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, and the other is as though everything is a miracle. Choose the latter. And let me leave you with this thought. Let's all be the light to remind us all of the importance of action and rededication in our lives. Guess what? It's Rabbi Rick Jacobs.
No, we know how to spell Hanukkah. We're not going there again. We got that all figured out. The only way to spell Hanukkah, as you know, there's just one correct way, and it doesn't have a CH or an H. And the word Hanukkah is about rededication. And people ask you, why do you go to the URJ Biennial in Boston? You're going to say a lot of things. You're going to say, well, first of all, December in Boston, how cool is that? And you're going to say, you know, I remember the last biennial in Boston, and there's this tradition, it's got to snow. And you say, I wonder if they could pull that off again. I got a big to-do list this time about how to get ready. And one of them was, can you think you wear a little dusting, not like heavy, thick, difficult snow, just a little light snow. So we've been here for 5 days, and the question is, why did we come? We came because there is a deep, urgent sense that there's a darkness, there's a feeling that what we came to replenish was not just a sense of hope, not just a sense that I'm going to get a little tip about something in Jewish life over here, or I'm going to maybe have a wonderful moment over there. We came here because we need, as a community, as the largest and most diverse movement in Jewish life, we actually need to rededicate ourselves to the core things that really matter. And on Hanukkah, which is just around the corner, we could think it was about the dedication of the temple, but it was actually the rededication. And that thing that you have to do to rekindle, to reignite, and to find those places where each of us is going to go back to wherever home is, and not just go through all the things that we normally do, but that this 5-day biennial has kindled that new spark. So wherever we're going to go back to, we're going to be more committed to be Reverend Barber's partner. Reverend Barber didn't come here. He didn't come here just to be a great speaker. He can do that. We could have asked him, but he came here, and when he landed and he heard there had been a death in his family, and people said, well, you're probably just going to have to leave. He said, no, I am going to the URJ Biennial because they are partners in shaping a world of wholeness, a world of justice, a world of compassion. So each of us is not just that theoretical little point of light. We have the power to bring a spark of kindness, a spark of courage, a spark that says that whatever darkness and whatever hatred, whatever is unleashed in our society, in our world, we have the ability to take it back and to stand tall and to be that difference. It might be that we're going to learn with more dedication. It may be that we're going to take care of those around us with more care and love. It may be that we're going to find our way into Hanukkah as chinuch, as education. But what I can say is that none of us is going to go back into this season of the year when the light looks like it's all going to get quieted and dulled and dimmed, because we are going to be that difference. What would happen if in this moment when people fear and people say, what are we going to do? Would you just hold the thought of what happened in Billings in 1993? Would you hold the thought of that we're not the only ones holding the light? when in the end of February, a group of people desecrated a cemetery in Philadelphia. It wasn't just that it was a Jewish cemetery, but the next day, a whole faith community came together, Muslims, Christians, Sikh, Jews, and said, if you do this to one of us, you do this to all of us, and we will stand together against the darkness. We'll stand together against the hatred, the bigotry, all that threatens to take us down. We together, we, this movement, we the people of faith and courage in the world who say, this is not who we are, this is not what we came on the earth to do, and this is not what we're going to allow to happen. So we stand and we feel a sense of urgency. We go back and we kindle the lights and we get other people to stand with us. And just as happened in Billings, Montana, when that cinder block was thrown through the window and that Jewish family might have felt absolutely alone, we live here. Yes, there are people that are not with us, but we have the chance to be those who convene the light, those who bring the light out of others and bring the light out of ourselves, and it glows. And it's not just from our phones. It's from our words. It's from our acts. It's from who we are. So promise me when you pack up your stuff and you say, I think I got everything packed. Make sure you put in there all the things that we recommitted to during these 5 days. Because we got some big, important, challenging, and inspiring work to do. And when we come back in a couple of years, it's not just going to be the same as it is. It's going to be brighter. It's going to be kinder. It's going to be more audacious. It's going to be more courageous. It's going to be more interconnected. And the water is going to flow. It's going to flow between and around and connect us in ways that we cannot imagine. So when we go back, kindle the light, kindle the joy, kindle the family, kindle the community, kindle the resilience, kindle all that makes us whole. And make sure, let's grow that little flame. Let's let it grow into the light, which will bring hope, which will bring goodness, will bring justice to our world. I want us to think, if we could, about not only where we've been, but I want us to think about where we're going as we move forward.
Do you hear or do you listen? Do you look or do you see? Can you feel the separation? Because of you, because of me. There are truths in one another. There are troubles we have seen. There is hope in understanding. There is life in the space between.